back to my channel, Caffeine and Lesson Plans. Today I have a really short video for you. If you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you know that in the past, or really ever since we've started homeschooling, we've been using Singapore Math, which is a mastery program. Now, I love Singapore Math, and I love how they teach the concepts to the child, not in just one way, but in multiple ways. So we all know that everyone learns differently, and so with Singapore Math, you're able to teach the child the concept in a tactile way, in a visual way. You know, there's flashcard uses, so there's some memorization. There's not a whole lot, but I love Singapore Math. The problem was I found that this year my son, who is in 3rd grade, is not retaining well. And so that can kind of be a downfall for programs that are mastery, because you don't typically come back and do a lot of review over the things that you've already learned. In the past, for kindergarten and first, it worked great. But now that we're getting up into harder math concepts, he's starting to forget some of the basic things he's learned in the past. So I knew that we needed to make some changes, and so I decided that we would go to Abeka. We thought about doing teaching textbooks, but I am not a huge fan of doing your whole course subject on the computer, especially when it comes to math. Probably not so much language arts, but definitely math, because I feel like you need to, you know, working with pencil and paper, I feel like it somehow sticks in your brain a little bit better than just clicking answers on a keyboard. That's not to say that teaching textbooks is a bad program or that it doesn't work for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people just, you know, rave about it. But for me and my children, I just wanted to pick something that was more hands-on. So, since I'm switching my son, who's in 3rd, to Abeka, I decided I would switch my daughter too, who's in 1st, to Abeka, because she's having a little difficulty picking up the concepts quick enough to move through the program, if that makes sense. And we've started Abeka, and I've already seen a really big improvement in her skills. So let me go through this real quick and explain a little bit. Okay, so she's in 1st grade, so we're starting her in first grade. So she is, you know, par for the course when it comes to grade level. Now we've already, like I said, we've already started this, so there's some pages torn out. Now with Abeka, let me say this first, with Abeka, with math, there's a whole math a whole math program. And so it comes with the curriculum. You can get the curriculum lesson plan book. There's charts. There's flashcards. There's concept and place value cards. I did not buy any of this extra stuff. Actually, I got this book on eBay, and so I'm using this with her lessons. But you typically, for the instructor's guides, because you don't really write in them, you can find them used, and you can find a lot of the cards and things used too. Because this was like a mid-year, not planned purchase, we didn't have a whole lot of money left over for curriculum, so I just got this. And you know, I've got flashcards, arithmetic concept cards. Actually, I'll show. Let me see if I can get them. I'll show you what we've got. So, woo, they're all trying to fall out. I got this set from Costco, and the sun has kind of like dulled the colors. But so this was from Costco. It was $10.99. There's 324 cards, sorry, and it goes through addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, fractions, time, and money. And so they're all kind of broken up here, and we've gone through so far the division. We haven't gotten into I mean, we do time and money. I just haven't pulled those out. Same with fractions. But I like this set, especially since it's kind of all together in this neat little box. So I didn't feel like we needed to buy the extra stuff. Also, like some of these concept charts, you can find big posters at the Dollar Tree if you want like multiplication tables or certain families, number families. So that's kind of why I didn't buy the whole curriculum set. So the Arithmetic one, it starts out pretty basic, and most of you probably know that Abeka is pretty advanced. And hold on, the dog's attacking the cat. Basie, stop. It's pretty advanced, especially the farther you get grade-wise. And so we skipped a couple of these pages actually because they were pretty basic, and my daughter is not a fan of coloring, so we skipped kind of the coloring part. But this is what she's actually going to be doing today. So let me see if I can bring it up here. So like I said, we're close to the end of the school year, first grade school year, and we're still at the beginning of this book, but we're schooling through the summer because we're going to be moving in November, so I'm not too worried. And we do 2 pages front and back each day, so we will probably get through this pretty quickly. So this is what she's doing, filling in like the number charts just so that she gets used to counting and recognizing those numbers, some simple addition problems. We're talking about greater and less than, and then tens and ones places. So that's what that page looks like, and that's page 29. And this, they don't really say lessons. I'd have to look in the manual, and I'll show you what that looks like. But you can see that for first grade, it's pretty basic, and it's color. Now, I'm not going to be one of those people that says, you know, we have to have something colorful. But my kids do appreciate it. I feel like they respond better to the color. I don't know what it is. I guess kids like, I mean, I like colorful things too, so I kind of get it. But it's pretty, like I said, it's pretty easy getting into it. But they pick up really quick. So, you know, you have count, like this is count by tens here. Then we're into subtraction, some basic subtraction. We do use manipulatives for things too. So, like I said, while we didn't buy the entire program, we've got a lot of math resources that we can use along with this. So right here we're at 47, and they're still doing like basic addition, and here's some like write the missing numbers. So 3 plus what equals 6. So, and they're doing basic money. And then if you move, let's go to like halfway through the book. Let's see what that looks like. So, okay, so this would be kind of like halfway through the book. And here we're doing, it says draw minute hands to show the time. Write the sums. Add the ones column first, then add the tens column. So double digits. We're talking about, it says draw lines to the correct answer. So it's talking about like 1 week is 7 days. 1 foot would be 12 inches, those kinds of things. So obviously to us, pretty basic. But a first grader, it picks up. I like this. It talks about you can draw ocean animals. It gives you like step by step, which my daughter loves to draw. Not a big fan of coloring, but she loves to draw. Also, we've got calendar stuff, grid work, dot maps, which are really funny because we do these in CLE. Ooh, sorry about the slam door. My kids can't stay outside for longer than a minute without coming back in. But yeah, we do those dot maps and things for CLE, which sometimes she gets frustrated because they can get kind of difficult. So it picks up. It picks up quite a bit. Greater than, less than, more money, more subtraction. Really, obviously in first grade, you're really working on basic fractions, obviously, but really basic math and subtraction, or math, addition and subtraction math. Hey, you cannot keep going in and out. And yeah, so that's what that looks like. And then we've got a few word problems. And then at the back here, they have like these kind of like time tests. So I mean, I remember doing these in school where you would have, I don't know, I don't remember how much time they gave us, but they give you so much time, and then, you know, you do the math, and then down here, as for the teacher, you can write the time spent and the number right. And so you can kind of see how they're improving through that. And then at the back, there's a cute little thing where it's got my growth chart, and you can kind of track their growth throughout the first grade year. So that's the book, the text. Now these are the curriculum plans. So the first thing you have the Christian curriculum philosophy and the textbook and the materials that you would need, scope and sequence. It's kind of a sample planning calendar, kind of moving through this quickly. Parent overview, and then you get into the daily plans. So this is what the daily plans look like. So let me see if I can move this up. So if you can see, it gives you the preparation for the lesson itself, and then it gives you the procedure and the instructions for the lesson. So that's what a lesson plan like teachers look like. So for instance, this one, it gives you the objectives, the materials, what pages you're going to be doing, and any visuals you need. Also, it talks about the cards that you might need. Down here in the procedure, you have some warm-up and review, and then you have the instructions, so counting 1 to 10, objects for counting. So this is kind of a little hands-on lesson before you get into the workbook material, counting 1 to 20, and then here's like animal crackers, so another little hands-on thing. Instruction 4, let's see, it says, have the child count as you place one animal on the table, so more manipulatives. And then on the next page, you have thinking questions. Well, not really thinking questions, but things to be thinking about application. So the seat work that you're going to be doing. And then you have combination practice. And it says combination practice time is an oral arithmetic review of addition and subtraction facts. And so then they've given you stuff for that. And then you would move on to lesson 2. Obviously, we don't do everything in here. We know that Abeka is created for, it can be created for classrooms. These are the homeschool plans, but it's still quite a bit. And with a first grader, you know, she's not going to sit for a super long time. So what I do is, if it's something she knows how to do, we don't focus so much on the hands-on part if she's already grasped that concept, because Abeka is a spiral program. So it's going to go back and review things throughout the lesson. So you may learn something in lesson 1, and then from, you know, lesson 1 all the way to, you know, whatever, like lesson 10 or something, you're still doing a little bit of those concepts, practicing those, so that you don't forget that. And so I don't feel the need, at least for her, I don't feel the need to go through every single hands-on instruction or activity before we get to the seat work. And right now she's picking up the seat work really quickly. Like I said, Abeka does advance pretty quickly, so I know that once we move up a little bit more, there will be more time spent on the hands-on activities just to help her grasp those concepts. Now moving on to Arithmetic 2. Now, like I said, my son's in grade 3. Right now we started with Arithmetic 2 because I knew that if we went right to Arithmetic 3, there would be a lot of things he probably would have skipped. I mean, we know that no curriculum is created the same, and I didn't want there to be any gaps. And so, since this is advanced, he's going to be doing things that he would be doing in Singapore 3. So we went ahead and started at the beginning, even though a lot of this is pretty basic for him. He flies through these right now. We do quite a few pages each day just to kind of, it's more of a review for him at this point. But there's money, talking about tens and ones places. This is page 27. Once again, we've already started on it. Talking about different shapes. basic, very basic subtraction and addition, like 1 minus 1. Like, I mean, the kid, we're doing multiplication division. So he's breezing through all of this. But then once you get to, okay, so here's like the middle, you got like 18 minus 6, so a little bit heavier addition. Then you've got multiplication in here. Down here, you're adding 3 numbers together, you're subtracting in the thousands place, you're multiplying in the thousands place. Granted, it's by 1, but they're starting to learn how you multiply bigger numbers like that. Roman numerals. So these are things that if I had gone right to grade 3, like we hadn't really done a whole lot of Roman numerals, he would have missed that. I don't even believe we did Roman numerals in Singapore. I could be wrong though. We're talking about perimeter on shapes and stuff. So these are things I didn't want him to skip. So like I said, we're toward the end of his 3rd grade year, but we will be going through the summer, and I know that we'll get done with this before summer, and then we'll pick up the 3rd grade book. And hopefully by the time we start school, well, like I said, we're doing year round. We're moving in November, so we probably will take a break for most of November and possibly December. So we may not start until next January. So that may be when he starts like his quote-unquote 4th grade year. I don't know. We're still figuring it out. We're a military family, so you just never know. I mean, we're supposed to move at the end of November, but you don't know with the Army. It could be, I mean, we could be going earlier, we could be going later. That's just how the Army works. But anyway, that's what grade 2 looks like, the seat work. Now, the grade 2 also has a book like this with all of these little goodies you can buy. This is the new revised 2nd edition. I could not find a used copy for the 2nd edition workbook on eBay, and I did not want to shell out the money for a brand new one. As of right now, and it's 2nd grade-ish, 3rd grade-ish material, as of right now, we're fine, and I'm good in math. I really like math. I've done well in math. I have an education degree, an elementary ed degree, and so I've learned how to teach math, so I don't necessarily need the book to teach me. And like I said, we've got plenty of like math resources and manipulatives, so I feel like we're okay with that. So just wanted to show you what we're doing with math. Like I said, I love Singapore Math. If you're using Singapore Math, that doesn't mean that Singapore Math is a bad program. I love Singapore Math. I think it's fantastic. I just noticed that we were having trouble retaining things, and so I needed to stop and change it up for his benefit, because we all know that math and reading are really those cornerstones of what they need to learn before we can, you know, kind of blossom into learning, you know, more in-depth curriculum. Sorry for the screaming in the background. That's my kids fighting. Anyway, this is what we're on, and at the end of this, technically at the end of the school year for 2019, you know, around May or June, I will come back and do a review of, you know, how this has worked out and where we are and all that good stuff. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, just leave them in the comment box below, and I will see you all next time.